Look at that face. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That is just amazing, oh my god. How is it going, guys? I have been waiting for this for a very long time. To feel that nostalgic feeling from when I was young. When games didn't have bullshit like loot boxes, pay to win, and super duper deluxe silver, platinum, whatever word you want to use, edition did not exist. A game that every other company fears, and they probably should. The game we are talking about is, of course, Baldurs Gate 3. Baldurs Gate 3 was released as early access back in the 6th of October 2020, which included a partial version of the game. But the 3rd of August 2023, the game was fully released and people were hanging on the release handle like rabid dogs around a piece of meat. You can play Baldurs Gate 3 on PC right now, but the game will release for PS5 on the 6th of September and Xbox Series XS will launch later in 2023. The game was developed and published by Larian Studios, who also has had a successful run with their Divine Divinity series. I just gotta start by saying that this game is jaw-dropping. Baldurs Gate 3 delivers an unparalleled gaming experience. Immersion is off the charts. You lose yourself in its rich storytelling and complex characters. The visuals are a feast for the eye, bringing this world to life in breathtaking detail. As for the atmosphere, it's so palpable that you'll swear you can smell the tavern's ale and feel the tension in every decision. When it comes to atmosphere, immersion, and visuals, Baldurs Gate 3 really raises the bar. And they don't stop there. The audio is nothing short of extraordinary. The music is an enchanting journey in itself, setting the mood perfectly for every moment.
Has been lifted, the land's cleansed of the shadows. Catheric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
The voice acting is top-notch, with characters coming to life through their unique voices and emotions. The ambient soundscape immerses you in the world, from the bustling city streets to dark dungeons, making it a must-play for any RPG enthusiast. Baldurs Gate 3 offers an intuitive and immersive movement system that seamlessly blends point-and-click navigation with real-time exploration. So basically, you point and click to move freely when you are outside of combat. You can split up your group for tactical purposes, positioning your ranged characters on a high vantage point for maximum damage, and the more stronger characters on the ground for crowd control. But be careful when splitting your group. It is very easy to forget this and you end up running far away and leaving some of your group behind, and they will stay there until you command them to move. So this sometimes happens. I don't know if I accidentally ungrouped one person, but sometimes the game just decides to ungroup people. This is especially important when using elevators. If one of your companions isn't physically on the elevator, they will be left behind and you have to travel back to get them, or you could send them to camp and regroup from there. With combat, we have a different story. Here we are introduced to the real time with pause mechanics, which in shorter terms means turn-based combat. Just like in old school RPGs, you start with an initiative dice roll to see in which order each character will attack. The higher the roll, the sooner you take your turn. Then we have movement, where you can either attack before or after your movement, and you can only move a certain range if you don't have something that enables you to move further, or if you use dash. The blue circle in the bottom right indicates how much movement you have left for every turn. You can move freely throughout the battle, but if you are close or move past an enemy, they will try to attack you, so be mindful of that. Then we have action, which basically means any move that isn't included in movement. This includes attacking, picking up weapons, equipping weapons, and more. Bonus action, which is like a normal action, but this is for weaker abilities like shoving, jumping, dipping your weapons. Lastly, we have the reaction, which is triggered when a certain action is being done, if someone attacks you, or dispelling when someone attacks you from range, and more. I loved the combat mechanics in this game. It felt both tactical and fun, but it could also be very punishing if you make the wrong move. So prepare and plan for every battle. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see small blue dots that represent your spell slots. As a 1-level wizard, for example, you will have 2 first-level spell slots, and this means you can cast 2 level 1 spells. Once you use them up, you have to take a long rest to replenish all your spell slots. As you level up, you will get more spell slots and higher level spells from level 1 to 5 that will all have their own spell slot category. You will find scrolls in the world that you can either use right from the inventory or you can learn it for some gold. We also have something called Cantrips that you can cast whenever you want without resting, but they are different from our more powerful spells. Cantrips are usually minor buffs or dealing limited damage to one target, or you can create minor effects like light. The game offers some pretty difficult puzzles at time where you either have to look around for clues or you could just take a shot with as many tries as possible, but not without consequences. If you fail at some of these puzzles, you will set off a trap or maybe spawn enemies. Some puzzles you only have one shot at, and if you fail, the puzzle will forever be locked for you and your companions. Baldurs Gate also offers a lot of secrets that you can discover if you have a high enough intelligence. If you are close to something that is hidden, a roll of the dice will automatically happen and you will see an indicator in blue for successful skill checks or red for unsuccessful skill checks. And this goes for the whole group. So if all 4 of your companions fail their skill checks, you can always travel to camp and grab another companion and go back to see if they succeed where the others have failed. But everyone only gets one shot at this. These are called automatic skill checks, and they happen as you travel and discover places. We also have interactive skill checks, which are mostly during conversation in the dialogue option or for disarming traps and locks. We do have a day and night cycle in this game, but instead of the standard way where day turns to night in this game, as you journey through the map, fighting and exploring, you will at some point have to rest. We have 2 different resting modes: short rest, which only heals your party, and long rest that replenishes health, spell slots, and abilities. You can do 2 short rests per long rest, and as I said before, short rest only heals your party, but for spell slots and ability slots to replenish, you need a long rest. During the long rest, the day turns into night, and you can talk to companions in camp, and to sleep the night away, you just interact with the sleeping bags, but to get the full benefit of a long rest, you also need some food in your belly. Without it, you will not get full benefits of a long rest. I just gotta say that I love this mechanic. After a tough fight, you can now rest and regain your strength, and the best thing is that before you rest, you have bruises and blood all over you, making it look like you actually came out from hell. It really added to the immersion. As you travel and explore the world, you will find loot everywhere, and you should search everything and almost pick up everything, except for forks, spoons, and things that you don't have use for. You never know what you might pick up from random boxes or shelves that might be of good use in future endeavors. All 4 characters have their own weight capacity that you shouldn't make use of during your journey, and when you are filled up, you can just send items to your camp storage. Most of the items you pick up you will sell when you find a vendor, but I gotta be honest, I found myself selling or buying almost nothing in the game. The only thing I used my money for was to resurrect party members, or if I failed with a skill check and needed to bribe my way out. But I still love that the game doesn't force you into farming for gold to be able to do something, and since I vacuumed maps like there was no tomorrow, I got plenty of items that suited my needs, so I didn't need to buy from vendors except for health bottles and such. The NPC companions are very well written and voice acted, and you do have some interesting conversations with them and get to know them more and more as you progress. I recommend taking a long rest now and then, since that's when you get new conversations with your companions, but be wary of timed quests since the world moves on when you sleep. There was one thing that I felt was out of place. It felt like sex came up pretty quickly in the game. I barely knew some of them before they wanted to get down and dirty with me. Not that I have anything against it, but it felt like it happened a little too fast. But I did spend a lot of time talking to them, so maybe that's the reason. The world is filled with people that you will meet during your travels, and usually you will see a question mark or exclamation mark above people's head to start side quests, but not in Baldur's Gate. Here you need to explore and talk to people and find out if they need something or not. Some conversations are only conversations, while others lead to a quest or activity you can access in your journal. This is actually amazing because now we have a reason to talk to everyone you meet, even animals. There is a spell called Speak to Animals that does exactly what it says, makes the person able to understand and speak to animals. And it can sometimes lead to very interesting side quests or secrets.
Yes! Together we shall spread the word of the wonder in our every footstep.
Not only can you talk to animals, you can even speak to the dead, which is more rewarding than you think.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Frank Pear Tree.
In Baldur's Gate 3, some quests can be very long and have a lot of fighting involved. This means that saving your game is of most importance, and I can tell you right now, for the love of God, put an alarm on your phone every 5 minutes to remind you to press F5 to quick save your game. I can't tell how many times I had to do whole fights over and over again because I forgot to save. The game does offer an autosave. Sometimes it isn't in your favor, making you restart a whole section that took you almost half an hour, if not more, to go through. But you can save whenever you want, in the middle of a fight or conversation, which is nice if you want to test out a choice you normally wouldn't, and then load to make the choice you wanted.
Has spoken. You will obey.
Who exactly are you? Stay standing exactly as you are.
Wave politely. I'm dead. I don't know how many saves or reloads I have done in this game, but I do know it happened more frequently as I progressed through the game. We are also offered multiplayer in Baldur's Gate, where you can either make a public game or play with your friends, which sounds awesome. But if you do a public game, you are forced to play with these random people's characters through the whole game. You can control them, but you cannot remove them or kill them. And the NPCs that are in the single player campaign will not be able to join your party. If your friends is offline and you want to play, you can do that, but your friend's companions is stuck in your party and you can't do anything, not even send them to camp. Another thing that is bad with multiplayer is that you miss out on some content, since some of it requires companions to be in your camp. Something to keep in mind: play the game by yourself first is my recommendation, and then find dedicated friends to play multiplayer with. The game has a large library of choices for you to create your character. I got stuck on choosing race and profession since I didn't know how I wanted to play, and there is plenty of reading to do to understand each class and what profession they should have. I went with a rogue thief since I knew this game was going to be a lot of sneaking, lockpicking for me, since I like that kind of gameplay. I was pretty satisfied with my character and was also happy to see that there were a large amount of choices that could be made, like hairstyles, beard styles, eye colors and shape, tattoos, piercings, and even the size of your private area. The game also offers options for players to create characters that reflects their gender identity, which is a nice touch. One thing that I would have wanted is a way to change appearance for your companions. That would have been amazing. Not that I don't like the standard look of the original cast of companions, but it would have been fun to play around with that. The game came with its fair share of minor issues, like sometimes after dialogue you couldn't interact with chests, or that I was unable to access my camp storage. These issues were easily fixed with a reload of the game. But then we had some frame issues at certain places where the game dropped FPS, which could be really annoying and disrupted the game flow. Larian Studios released Hotfix 4 that came with a surprise. a bug that corrupted game files, which meant that if you saved something during this after hotfix 4, you couldn't reload it. Larian Studios was fast to react and pulled the hotfix back and released it just a couple of hours later in a working condition. The reason for me mentioning this is because I want to show people how it's supposed to be when things like this happens. Larian Studios jumped right on it, and it didn't take them months to fix it, which in my opinion means that Larian Studios cares about this game for more reasons than just money, and I think that should be mentioned. To everyone that has yet finished the game, I highly recommend that you stop watching from here. I know you may want to see the final verdict and all, but believe me, finish the game and come back to watch the rest if you want to. I don't want to spoil this for you. I have warned you now, so whatever choice you make is on you. I've gotta say, I'm head over heels in love with this game. It's been a while since I've been so hooked on an RPG like this. You know, those games without all the loot boxes and pay-to-win nonsense. Well, Baldurs Gate 3 is that game, and it's the one every other company should be looking up to right now. But hold on, there is a but, and it's about the ending. Now, I'm a gamer who will do whatever it takes to get the best possible outcome. I mean, I'll replay a section a million times if I have to, even if it means losing sleep for days. Why? Because I care about my characters and the companions I've bonded with throughout the game. I'm not gripping about the final boss fight, that was epic. I'm talking about what happened after that fight. So picture this, the whole gang gathers after we triumphed over our nemesis, and some of our companions say a few heartfelt words and then credits. Yep, you read that right. It's like someone forgot to write the conclusion, and it leaves you with a sense of, wait, what just happened? It's like watching Shutter Island, and right when Leo DiCaprio is about to unveil the big secret in the lighthouse, bam, credits roll. Frustrating, right? This ending doesn't wrap things up. It just leaves you with more questions than answers. When I started the game, I thought, I gotta replay this. When I was in the middle of the game, I thought, I need to replay this. Even at the last boss fight, I thought, I'm going to replay this. But when I hit those last 5 minutes of the game, I questioned if I even wanted to, and honestly, I don't feel like replaying it right now. I'm not saying that the ending is bad, I'm saying it's missing that crucial conclusion. It's like having a delicious 3-course meal and then realizing they forgot to serve dessert. Here's hoping the developers can patch this up, because Baldur's Gate 3 deserves an ending that matches the awesomeness that the rest of the game had. It doesn't even have to be interactive, just do what Dragon Age Origin did. Image slideshow with text to conclude the story and our choices. Don't get me wrong guys, I love this game and I am happy that I played it, and I still think that this game can change the future of gaming to the way it was before. No loot boxes, pay to win or cut DLC, just a fully released game with no bullshit. Great visuals, atmosphere and immersion, amazing dialogue that gives you a lot of options and paths to choose, a large library for character creation and choices for people with different gender identities. Tactical combat is fun, engaging and challenging even on normal mode. Great audio and ambient sound that fits the world perfectly. Companions that has a deep story and their own personalities. Traveling in the world never feels boring, and the reward for searching every corner is rewarding and exciting. But the game didn't come without issues. We had some minor bugs where interactions with certain objects didn't work, not being able to change how the autosave system works, some lag in different places that interrupted the game flow, and an ending with a lack of conclusion or closure. This has left its mark on the world, and other companies should really take a close look at what Larian Studios has created. This is what gamers want, and I'm not only talking about RPG games. I'm talking about the dedication to make something beautiful out of nothing, without all this side hustle bullshit. I'm not claiming to talk for every gamer in the world, but I think many will feel the same way. Gaming isn't just about pixels and controllers. It's about escaping into worlds where we can be heroes, adventurers, or even just ourselves without judgment. It's a place where we find solace, camaraderie, and endless possibilities. Gaming isn't a hobby. It's a sanctuary for our hearts and minds, a place where we can discover who we truly are and who we can become. If you can give us this, we will support you not only with buying your games, we will always remember this experience and gladly share it with others. That's why this ending just makes me so sad. And I beg Levarian Studios to give this game the ending it deserves. This game is too good to end without a conclusion. The final verdict for Baldurs Gate will be an 8 out of 10. The game is remarkable in every way and I really wanted to give it a 10 out of 10 or at least a 9 out of 10, but I can't with that ending. Even though I loved it, I need to be honest. You should still pick it up. You will get your money's worth and you will have a lot of great experiences in the world of Baldurs Gate 3. The only reason for not picking it up is if you hate RPGs, I guess, but I still think you should try it anyways. I still have high hopes for the studio and I thank you for giving me this experience. What do you think about Baldurs Gate 3 and its ending? Was it satisfying for you or do you feel like I do? Comment down below. That was it guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you have some time to spare, why not check out my other content? Stay awesome guys, and remember, life is too short to play bad games. Let me help you find the best. See ya!